Good morning, preteens, and welcome back to another Sunday morning lesson with me. I'm so glad that you were able to join me this morning and that we get to continue our Advent series of Christmas presents. Today, we're talking about living in the moment and God being in that moment with us, and how His presence can sometimes show up when we are maybe on a really good trip or we're doing something that makes us feel alive or anything like that. And it's kind of uplifting from last week's lesson, which was in our low times, in our grieving or sadness, and God still being with us in that. And today we're talking about kind of on the opposite of God being in those really awesome, alive times in our life. And before that, I want to remind y'all that today, this Sunday, is our Christmas experience. It's from 4 to 6 p.m. for your family to drive through the Nativity story. And I know a lot of your families, including y'all, are helping volunteer, and I'm so excited to see y'all there. And I hope that y'all have a great time and that I will see y'all tonight. But moving on into our lesson, I'm going to start with a verse that's in Matthew, and it's in Matthew chapter 6. It's verse 34. If you go to the book of Matthew, which is the first book in the New Testament, it's our first gospel. If you go to chapter 6 and then just go all the way down right before chapter 7, you'll find the verse. And for me, that verse says, "Therefore, do not worry about tomorrow, for tomorrow will worry about itself. Each day has enough trouble of its own." I thought this was a great verse for this lesson because we're talking about living in the moment. And sometimes that can look really different for all of us. Sometimes it can even look different in our own lives. We may have these sort of feelings of living in the moment when we are doing something that may seem mundane or normal or whatever, but we have like an amazing day or an amazing different type of day, like at school, where I remember for me it was something like homecoming day. Homecoming day was really special for us, and I know that y'all celebrate homecoming at y'all schools as well. And it would just be a really fun day full of games and activities. It wasn't like the normal school day. And sometimes for me, that was kind of living in the moment of something different, something fun, something to celebrate with your friends. And as I got older in school again, of having maybe games, sports games, maybe you get really far into your season, or maybe you just do something different. Maybe it's a vacation with your family and friends, or maybe you go somewhere really special and you know that you might only get to go here once in your childhood, or maybe you get to go here once in a lifetime, just things like that. And you feel like you're living in the moment. You feel like you're not going to get this opportunity for a very long time, if ever again. And there are many moments where we have this kind of feeling of living in the moment, living in a time where we feel alive and we feel like we're not in our kind of boring, regular day-to-day world. And it's awesome, it's special, and we want to live like that every day. And we can't, unfortunately, but that's why it's called living in the moment. When we talk about God in those moments, sometimes we don't think about that. Sometimes we don't think about God being in those moments too. We just think about how much fun we're having, how excited we are, all the good things that we're getting to do, and all the special things we get to do in that moment. And we kind of forget that God's in that picture as well. And maybe we do remember God in that moment. Maybe we remember how it's a blessing that we get to have those moments sometimes. Not some people may never get that chance or that opportunity to have the specific life-giving moment that you're having at that second. Maybe it's a special opportunity just for you or just for your family. And we should remember that God gives us those moments too. And what would it look like if more days we felt like we were living in the moment, or kind of woke up with this feeling of living in the moment, even though it's a regular day at school or it's a regular old Tuesday. And we think about living in the moment of that Tuesday, or living in the moment of whatever day, a weekend, and like, oh, let's just go do something fun and special, and something that's different for us, and choose to live in the moment. Not an opportunity maybe presenting itself, but you going after that, and your family doing something together like that. And sometimes we can live in the moment that way and make kind of semi-spontaneous kind of decisions like that and just kind of doing something different. That's living in the moment too. God reminds us to live in the moment. God reminds us to not worry about the next day and to live in today. God says, don't worry about tomorrow. Tomorrow's worrying about itself. Live for today. Remember to see the good points of the day. See the good things that happened that day. And even in doing that, in your normal Tuesday, seeing the good things that happened in that day is living in the moment. And that's something to kind of take with you. Think of ways you can live in the moment. Christmas is coming up this week, and that's a very excellent opportunity to live in the moment. Christmas looks different for us maybe this year. Maybe it's with less people around the tree, maybe it's less people at the dinner table, but it's still an amazing opportunity to live in the moment of how awesome Christmas is, and to live in that moment with your family, and to look around you and think, wow, I have such an amazing family. I'm having such an amazing time, having fun, giving gifts, getting gifts, having a great meal maybe, getting to watch maybe some movies together and have some sweet treats. And you just get to have a wonderful time there. And think about how that blessing has been given to you. And that there's only one you, there's only one of your family, and all of that is part of living in the moment. Living in the moment of being thankful and being happy and joyous that Christmas is such a fun time to be together. And I hope that y'all can think about this week when you think about how you can live in the moment a little bit more, and maybe living in the moment more when it feels kind of boring or feels kind of mundane or normal. You can still find ways to live in the moment of your regular old Tuesday, your regular old school day. And I hope that y'all can find ways to do that. I hope that I get to see y'all tonight. I hope that y'all have a lot of fun this week, and that you have a good Christmas Eve and Christmas. I hope that it's so great to get to spend time with your family and eat some good food, watch some good movies, whatever your family traditions are. I hope that you have a wonderful time, and you remember to live in that moment. You remember to think about any one of those little things could be different, but it's special how it is with your family and with you and with your relationship with God. And I hope to see y'all tonight. I will see y'all next week. Actually, I won't. There won't be a lesson next week. Just to let y'all know, there won't be a video lesson. I will send something out in an email. But this is the last lesson of 2020. So I will see y'all next year. Bye.